And we're back with another UFC Fight Night card, talking some MMA. Three-man booth here on a Saturday. Kind of a shitty afternoon out where I live. It's just raining nonstop. I don't know if that's how it is. I feel like that's most of the country right now this weekend.
It's like maybe a fucking tornado here.
Oh, it's crazy. But we'll bring you the winners here. Seems like everyone's going to be inside for a nice little MMA card, which is perfect anyways for this nice fight night. Dan, JBC, bringing the winners with me. JBC, I'll throw to you first here. How you feeling on this Saturday afternoon?
Man, just been, dude, we've been stuck inside for like 2 or 3 days, just crazy storms. Like it's been nuts around here. But Dan looks like he's got some sunshine coming in on him that we don't have.
We've got some light, but it's really gray out and a little rainy. Thank goodness we have the Apex to keep us warm this evening.
I know Dan's super excited for Lakui Bunham and Nunez and you know, all these other can fights that we got on this card.
Those 20 people watching at the Apex are gonna lose their fucking shit, dude. It's gonna be electric.
Well, you'll be able to hear everything they say.
Oh yeah, excellent.
Boynton was so pissed that I said I was gonna watch UFC over the Final Four. Like, I'm going to watch Loma Lookboonmee over the Final Four. Fuck.
I haven't watched the
Boynton would be pissed at that. I could see Boynton being really pissed at that. I mean, that's why you have multiple TVs, though. You can have the MMA on the main TV, and then you can have NCAA, and oh, God, I can't even talk right now. NCAA hoops on the side TV. It's fine.
I've watched more Oakland Athletics baseball than I have Final Four.
Hey, they've been good this year to start.
They're not Oakland anymore. It's just Athletics.
The Athletics. Yeah, I watched more Athletics.
Dan, I call them the Oakland Athletics still, and I've been told this multiple times. They're always the Oakland Athletics to me. The Indians are always the Indians. I don't give a shit. The Washington Redskins will always be the Redskins. You can't change that shit.
I find myself calling them the Indians, but the Commanders, because they've been good, I've kind of gotten used to calling them the Commanders.
That's fair.
I think name change is fine, but the names that they changed to suck. Like
Guardians is a terrible name.
Guardians is terrible.
Terrible.
I've always banged the table for Washington. I always thought they should be like the Washington Warthogs.
Yeah, that would be good.
You got like
W is perfect.
Hogs are badass. You got the good alliteration there, and the fan base, the Hogs, it's a good shout out to that. But they went with Commanders.
Yeah,
love that. We got some people in chat right now. Brady loves the three-man booth. Our boy Matty Ice. What's going on, Matty? K. Felix Burner in crew here. JSU confirmed not woke. That's got to be the most obvious thing of this show. But Josh Lee in the house. We're ready to go here, boys. Who the fuck is the command? I agree, Matty Ice. And Matty Ice is a fan of the team. He's a Washington guy.
The Commanders are the team in the NFC East that's going to regress mega fucking hard.
Yeah, I think the Commanders should be bad next year.
They're going to be dog shit.
Dallas is going to be better than the Commanders. That's my hot take.
The crazy thing is like Jaden, can he actually be better than what he was last year?
No, they're not. There's no way they can make it further than that. Like, that's not happening.
That's
he
what
may
I'm
not
saying.
make it further than that his whole career.
Yeah, and rookies normally second year.
CJ Stroud sucked ass last year.
CJ Stroud, yeah, exactly.
The Commanders have made the mistake of thinking that they're closer than they are. They kind of they had a little sun run to the NFC Championship game, got stomped the fuck out by a real team, and now they're loading up on aging vets on 1-year contracts. Like, they're not at
we
that.
We saw how that worked for the Texans. It didn't.
No, well, I also think, name, though. Dan, I also think some of these vets want to go play with Jaden. Just like some of them wanted to go play with CJ after CJ's big year. I think, let's be honest right now. I think some people watched last year and they were like, oh shit, like they got a quarterback. Like, this team with a quarterback is different. You know what I mean? And they don't even have, let's be honest, like Washington didn't have like a ton of weapons. They had fucking Zach Ertz, who's 400 years old. They had Olamide Zaccheaus, who was on his like eighth year and like fourth team or whatever with Dan Quinn. Diami Brown, who everyone thought sucked, and then all of a sudden gets a contract from the Jaguars for money. Like, those were their players outside of Terry McLaurin.
And it's not like Terry McLaurin's a big dude who can create on his own. He kind of needs other people to take some of the attention away from him. If they double him,
about Terry McLaurin is he somehow he stays healthy.
Right.
I feel like he's always on the field, which is huge for like a stud receiver.
Mm-hmm.
You obviously got to be there. But all right, this is a UFC show. We want to talk football, but it's UFC
hold on,
time.
Dan's background just spelled out.
Fix it. What, it just blow away?
That just ruined the whole vibe of everybody, like the facade of people thinking that you were at a spa.
I live in a fucking.
I want that cat to hit it so it falls down like this way.
I think that's what happened. I think the cat hit it.
Did the cat hit it?
Bro, they're fucking around back there. These two.
See, the problem is, Dan, you got too many cats running around. They're hitting shit. They run right through your face during the. You got to set some boundaries with these cats.
I got a third one coming into my house pretty soon.
Oh my God.
Dan actually just signed up to be the face of a cat shelter.
Well, not the face. I volunteer at a shelter. They want me to. I agreed to feed like some outside colonies, and they want me to make content. So.
That's actually nice of you, Dan. Look at that. I didn't know that.
Animal lover.
Yeah.
They said he was the only man there, so they had to have him be on the thing to try and recruit other men to do it.
Yes, Dan, you're the trendsetter. You're getting started for the dudes out there.
That's what I do, man. That's what I do.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. Dan's feeding cats, during the day. He's picking winners at night for UFC. We're ready to go.
Ryan gets it.
There we go, Ryan.
That's it. Ryan gets it. Ryan's one of, I think, like 3 brothers who I don't know which one. Sam, Ryan. There's a third one, a Boobin Dryer. We love the Boobin Dryers on the Run Pure Sports shows. All right, let's get into this card here, boys. I think are we at 12 fights? I think 12 fights now. The Santos Grant fight got canned, so that's out. But 12 fights on the card. And, a lot of low-level fights here at some big lines. A lot of women's fights, big favorites for the women here. And that'll definitely play into the DFS card. But let's start, first fight on the card, Toledo Allen Carr, 8,200 on DK versus Vanessa Demopoulos, the queen of the split decision. 8K on DraftKings, and this line is, pretty much a pick 'em right now. I don't know if it's flipped yet. I know that Vanessa was close there this morning. I haven't seen it since then, but I assume, it is flipped. She's minus 125 now on DK Sportsbook. So, she's money's coming in towards Vanessa. Dan, do you see Vanessa as the favorite in this, or do you think it's just a complete flyer split type fight?
Yeah, it seems pretty coin flippy to me, man. Like you mentioned, Demopoulos has a knack for pulling out these really bad decisions. I don't know. I'm not super interested in this fight or in either girl, honestly. I think Allen Carr probably has a bit more finishing upside. Their inside the distance lines are the same, but I expect this to go to decision. Allen Carr, Demopoulos' takedown defense is awful, right? Like, she's defending takedowns at about 27%, and it's mostly because she's like happy to pull guard and then work off of her back. So there's definitely a world where 8,200 Allen Carr could, score well enough with some wrestling success, some takedowns, some control time. But they're both, Demopoulos isn't, special talent by any means, but she's a competent grappler. So I think most likely outcome here is they both kind of neutralize each other enough to where neither of them really does enough to score all that well, even at these mid-range prices. I'm going to be pretty light on this fight.
Yeah, JBC, what are you doing with this fight? I mean, from a betting side and a DFS side.
From a DFS side, I pretty much agree with Dan. I don't really foresee either one being dominant enough to either get a finish or, as he spoke on Allen Carr, getting a ton of takedowns and kind of going that route to a high score. I'm around 10% on both of them. It's definitely my lowest owned fight on the entire card. It's this one and the Victor Henry fight. I don't have very much, but yeah, I'm just not really interested in it. But I did bet on Vanessa Demopoulos just because she always seems to eke out these close splits, and so I'll favor her in any close fight.
Yeah. Go, Dan.
Yeah. Say Alan Carr projects to be reasonably popular. Like I've got her around 25%.
I'm gonna short that.
Yeah, she's got like pretty good projections all around the industry, like point per dollar. So she's gonna be showing up quite a bit. I'm gonna be well short of that.
Well, I think the reason is, and I'm with you guys on being lower on this fight from a DFS side, but the reason is probably because Alan Carr, not in the last fight against Luciano or whatever, but the fight before when she had to fight her, she had success taking her down. If she does have that type of success in a decision, she still might score decent. In the last 2 fights in the UFC that she's only had 1 takedown in both those fights. So she's not scoring well in even decision wins where she only gets 1 takedown and a couple minutes of control time. She needs multiple takedowns. If she can get multiple takedowns, then maybe from a DFS side, she can score decent. I just don't like her as a fighter, though. I think she's got a good grappling game. She's probably got a better grappling game than Demopoulos, but her striking is terrible. That's my one thing with her. She can't set up takedowns with her strikes, so it's a little easier to slow down the takedowns. And at times she'll slow down in fights from trying to get the takedown. So I'm going Demopoulos. I agree with JBC that she always just finds a way to eke out those close fights. And if this does go to the cards, I think that Demopoulos finds a way to win a close split here. And it's probably a bad DFS fight on the surface. But if Alan Carr does find success taking her down constantly, she probably has the upside in DraftKings scoring just because of that.
Yeah, Alan Carr is definitely the more appealing DFS play for sure. Like we have a long track record of Demopoulos not scoring well in decisions. Yeah, and I mean at 8K, she still probably doesn't do enough.
She has to get the knockout or she's not gonna score.
Yeah. And I don't think I think she's better on the feet than Alan Carr. I just don't think she's got, I mean, the last chick Alan Carr fought actually had power and she didn't get it. So right. I don't think that Demopoulos is probably going to get it. So we're probably looking at a decision or a split decision here. So not a great DFS fight. Let's go to one of the most, I think, important talks of the DFS card, the next fight, where we have Martin Budai, 7K, and he is going up against Uran Satabaldiiev. Might have said that name wrong. I think I was close, though. I think I was pretty close. Satabaldiiev here, 7,900, so gets the more expensive price tag as the dog. I think he's sitting plus 140 right now on DraftKings Sportsbook, and Budai sitting at 7K, and he is minus 166. JBC, I got to throw this one to you here. Talk about it from the DFS side, because you got the favorite 900 cheaper and at 7K on DraftKings right now. What are you doing with Budai?
Well, I mean, so he's priced like he was fighting Kennedy, and Kennedy would have killed him. So that makes a lot of sense. I'm not the biggest fan of Martin Budai, whatever. I have interest in both of them. I don't. You could certainly rationalize locking Budai in order to just hammer the top. Because if you go 100% Budai at the bottom, you could pretty much play Barbosa, Loma, Murphy, Finny, like combinations of 3 of them in pretty much all your teams. So there's certainly, with his inside the distance number being pretty good too, there's certainly some logic to that. I'm playing between 50 and 60%, not because I think that it's not rational to lock it, but because I think Satabaldiiev has very live to just, he can knock him out. Like, I think that his price is fair. And so, like, I don't want to fade that. Like, I don't want to be against that. So, I'm playing, Budai probably 55%, and then Satabaldiiev like 25 to 30. Probably, I'm going to be close to all in on the fight in general.
Yeah, and Dan, I assume that this is one of those fights you've talked about it for a while. When you get these spots, are you just slamming this thing?
Well, no, because of what JBC talked about, it's like I think Satabaldiiev is live. I mean, this is like super low level, light heavyweight. Like these guys, they could just get in the middle and swing on each other, and then someone's going to drop, and it really could be either one of them. It's like Budai is probably got more high level experience, but again, it's like this is so low level that Satabaldiiev has a puncher's chance. I think he's probably even like the more urgent finisher of the two. He's got a little bit of wrestling and grappling, so I think there's a good amount of upside there. So yeah, I mean, Budai obviously is an extreme value. His inside the distance number for where he's priced is excellent, but Budai's never really been much of a finisher. So it's one of those things where it's not really about anything that Budai brings to the table. It's about what his opponent presumably lacks. So, I mean, I'm probably going to end up around like 40s, 50s on Budai. I'll probably be like 20s on Satabaldiiev.
Yeah, Dan calling Budai a light heavyweight was great right there.
Oh, you know what? I got confused because Satabaldiiev was the light heavyweight champion from the org that he just came from. So,
and Kennedy also used to fight light heavyweight. So that makes
thank
sense.
you, though.
Yeah, that's all right. The chat's keeping us honest. I was going to let it slide, but
I was testing you guys.
JVC just went right for it, though. He's like, fuck Dan. How about that, Dan?
It bothered me.
I will just say this. When I watch a Satabaldiiev fight, I instantly said to myself, this is exactly what Dana is looking for in a fighter. The guy gives no fucks. He literally comes forward. He's super hittable. He has takedowns. He has nasty ground and pound. He's got a super long reach too. It's like fucking like 79 or 80. So he's going to have the slight reach advantage. He has this reach advantage on most people, but he's dangerous. He's dangerous, but he brings it in all of the fights. So he's like bringing it to you, and his cardio is pretty impressive for a big guy who is even when he's tired, he still keeps moving, trying to finish. So I would say that I really like Sati here. I'm just going to call him Sati because I think I've been saying his name right, but who the fuck knows? And Budai is just not dangerous, like Dan said. His fucking wins are against Andrei Arlovsky at age 50-something, Josh Parisian, Collier, split decision with Bresky. These are not good fighters. The one guy he's lost to in the UFC is Shamil Gaziev, and he was a favorite against Gaziev, if everyone remembers. It was pretty much a coin flip, but he was a fucking favorite. And I told people then, I said, he is not going to like the pressure that Gaziev is going to get. He's going to stay in his face. He's not just going to let him clinch up when he wants and then dance around, which is what Budai wants. He wants like a clean fight. He doesn't want someone who's going to give him a dog fight. And that's what this dude's going to give him. He's going to give him a dog fight. So I think someone gets finished in this fight, which means I think this fight is optimal at these price tags. If we see a finish, and I think that's more because of the way, and Dan, we talk about it on these shows all the time. It's honestly not about Budai being good. It's also about his opponent. And I think he has an opponent that's going to force him to either get killed or be killed. You know what I like? It's just one or the other. And I see a finish here. So I like Sati Baldiev or whatever. And I think he finishes Budai.
I think it's totally possible. I was searching for it because I was trying to remember. We had like a really low level heavyweight fight with a really short notice replacement. Do you guys remember Junior Taffa versus Sean Sheriff?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Like Sheriff was a massive dog and he came out and he basically knocked Taffa out round one. Ref didn't stop the fight. It got to the second round. Sheriff gassed. Taffa ended up winning. But like we were like this close to a massive, massive dog at heavyweight, just landing a bomb and beating someone that maybe skill for skill, not quite up to, but like, you know, at this low level of heavyweights.
Even at high level heavyweight, Derek Lewis knocked out Curtis Blade.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
you know, in a sport that's really variant, it's like heavyweights and women's MMA are like kind of the two most variant ends.
And you can make this case here. You can make the case that this guy hasn't fought anyone. That's fine. But when I look at a dude he's going to fight who is not dangerous at all, who he's going to literally just come forward and stay in his face, it's going to result in someone getting really hurt. Because these are big dudes swinging on each other at the end of the day. So you can say he sucks and he hasn't fought anyone, but I don't think Budai is going to like the constant pressure that's in his face. If that's the way he fights, which I watched the last few fights he's had, and I was like, man, if it's like this, then Budai's in trouble. If it's just constant, ground and pound and elbows, and, you know, it's just, I think it's going to be too much for him. But if I'm wrong, Budai might get a knockout, and he doesn't knock many people out. So, yeah, I think this fight is good for DFS. I get that some people might not like it. If it's just a clinch fest and Budai is just winning the clinch fest, it's going to be boring. But
hold on.
Yeah.
The problem with if it's a clinch fest is Budai could still be optimal in a clinch fest because it's 7,000. Like, that's my problem.
Yeah.
And so, you know, the fact that he's minus 166, and if he scores 65, like, that could get there. Yeah. So that's why I'm playing so much.
I'll always bring up Chris Gutierrez when he was in a very similar spot. He scored 56 and was still in the optimal.
Yes.
It was a slightly shorter fight, but like that's the kind of thing you're dealing with, the kind of consideration that you need to make.
And honestly, I don't think it's gonna be a clinch fest. So yeah. I get it. Either way, this fight's a good fight. I'm gonna be heavy on it, and I think people should be having it on it at these price tags. They're too cheap. So, and you got two, in my opinion, not so great fighters going at each other. So there we go. That's the second fight on the card. Let's go to the next fight. We've got Pedro Falcao, 7,400 for Falcao going up against Victor Henry. JBC, I got to throw it back to you. You said you were a little lower than Henry before we jumped on here. Talk about why you're a little lower than him. He has scored pretty well in some of his decision wins, which is a lot of time how he's winning these fights. So what's not to like for you with Henry?
Well, he's got the worst inside the distance number of any of the favorites. So it's just, you know, other than that women's fight, if we call Alan Carr a favorite, but I call that a coin flip. But he just, the volume just isn't there for me. Falcao's got a better inside the distance number despite Henry being an almost minus 200 favorite. I do think Henry wins the fight, but I think it's going to be pretty low scoring and low volume. I'm only playing him like 10, 12%. Falcao, I'm playing like 20-ish. I do like Henry as a bet, though. I think he has better skills, and I think that if it goes to decision, I think he'll win, and I think it will go to decision.
Dan, what are you thinking here with this fight?
Yeah, I'm definitely more interested in the Falcao side. Henry has shown an ability to get there on volume because he does push like a crazy pace and throw a ton. But in this spot, priced where he's at 8,800. Falcao is pretty solid defensively and kind of like looks to limit engagement. You might get the smaller apex cage helping Henry a little bit in that regard, but I think he's mostly like a finish or bust guy. And like JBC said, he's got some of the worst inside the distance odds, maybe the worst of any of the favorites. So he's also going to be popular. He's also going to be like mid-20s, probably approaching 30. He's just one of those guys that people love to play because he does throw a ton of volume, which is great, but he doesn't have enough peripherals to sort of go with it. Like if I have him around mid-20s, around the 30s, I'm probably going to come in around half that. Much more interested in Falcao, who, again, because of the better inside the distance number and the price.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way with you. Dan, just because I think Falcao is a little more dangerous. If there's a finish, I think it's on the Falcao side, which for DFS, we want upside in the scoring. Honestly, too, I'm pretty sure wasn't his last fight on short notice against Victor Hugo, if I remember correctly. I think it was. And Victor Hugo's he's a pretty good fighter. So I don't think looking at that fight and being like, well, he lost. Victor Hugo's a really good grappler. He's got power. So I don't ding him for that. Yeah, Henry's definitely way more tested. I think if this fight does go to decision, Henry's probably the winner. But if this fight did finish, I do think it would be on the Falcao side because I do think he's the more dangerous overall fighter. So for DFS, I'm probably higher on Falcao, probably a little lower than on Henry just because he might be somewhat popular. Dan, what's his ownership coming in at right now?
I have him at 25, but I could see him kind of push up to 30.
That's crazy.
Wait, sorry. Did you say Henry or you said Falcao?
Henry. I said Henry.
Yeah, Henry is like mid-20s. Maybe he'll go a little bit higher. Maybe. Actually, probably not. I mean, Gurul right above him will probably pull some ownership away, and then Brito directly below him. Yeah, mid-20s is probably about right for him, actually. Yeah, but I'm definitely coming into that on Henry. Falcao's going to be like 20. I think that's fair. Yeah, like Falcao, he also doesn't throw like a ton on the feet. He definitely wants to take you down to the mat and either ground and pound you or submit you. And yeah, Henry's got like pretty solid defensive wrestling. So I don't know if it's going to be all that easy for Falcao to kind of impose his will in this matchup.
No, definitely not. I think he's going to have to throw more volume too on the feet to have a chance here. But you never know. It does seem like Henry's the deserved favorite. He probably does get the decision win. So we'll see there. Next fight on the card. Got a where are we at? Our women's fight here. First women's fight, I think, or second women's fight to talk about here. We got Estela Nunez and Lukui Bunham Loma here. Loma sitting 9,500 on DraftKings. Nunez sitting at 6,700. Massive line. Dan, I'll just throw this one right back to you here. What are you doing with Lukui Bunham? And do you give Nunez any chance in this fight?
Yeah, I give Nunez a chance. I mean, it's a small one. The line's been moving away from her pretty substantially. So it's pretty thin. But Nunez, she's 0-4 in the UFC. One of those was a freak injury. So you can kind of discount that a little bit. I don't really love a whole lot about her game. She seems really vulnerable defensively everywhere, which is what makes Luke Boomy a lot more viable at 9,500, even though she's not much of a finisher. But Nunez, she's a kickboxing champion. She's got pretty solid striking. So, women's MMA, it's still pretty low level, even though Luke Boomy appears to be a lot more skilled everywhere. But we see it all the time where these like big women's MMA dogs come through. So I'm not going to go crazy, but I am going to sprinkle a little bit of Nunez just because she can win and she's dirt cheap. And if she does win, it's going to come through a ton of striking volume. And yeah, on the other side, I like Luke Boomy a lot. I'm going to be playing more Barbosa than Luke Boomy. And I think Luke Boomy will probably come in around mid-20s, so you don't have to go too crazy to get over on her, which is what I'm going to try to do. But, there's a good chance this is just like a kickboxing match that goes full 15 minutes, scores like a 70, and, for 9,500, and then you're fucked. But yeah. She'll be a lot lower owned, Luke Boomy, than she should be, considering what her inside the distance numbers are.
Yep. JVC, what are you thinking here? You think this is going to be just a straight kickboxing match, or do you think that Lukui Bunham can make this a wrestling match?
No, Luke Boomy is just better everywhere. She's better on the feet, she's better in the grappling. Her Muay Thai is elite. Her problem is just that she's small. So that tends to be why she can't get finishes, but Nunez really sucks. So I foresee Luke Boomy finishing this fight. I like that plus 190 line on her to get a finish. So like right now in my 2K team, my $2,000 team, $1,000 team, $500 team, I've got Luke Boomy in there. So I really like her. I'm probably going to play mid-30s in MME on her. It's just too easy to get to her when you play Budai. So, yeah, I like Look Boom Me for fantasy a lot, and I'm straight fading Nunez.
Yeah,
I'm with you, JBC. I'm straight fading Nunez, and I'm probably hammering her at the top. It's just too easy to get to these 9K fighters. It's too easy to fit multiple. Dan?
She was easy to get to even before the Budai value opened up, just because you look at the bottom end of salary, and the finishing odds are all kind of hovering around 300, 350, which is pretty strong for these prices. So this was always kind of a slate where I might have even dropped my salary floor a little bit. Are you dropping your salary floor at all, JBC?
Debating. I'm on the fence right now because I'm getting the numbers I want, not dropping it too much, like past like 49.5. But all those Budai teams that are that high are going to be like duped like 500 times.
So much, yeah.
So but the thing is, I do like some other plays down there, like Valentin and Mirshard. So I'm probably going to leave it.
Yeah. Sevens Up says you got 48.5.
You can certainly rationalize going really low. There's no reason not to.
That's what I did. Sevens Up. I think. I mean, teacher, like JBC said, if you keep your floor high, I do think you're going to get a ton of dupe teams, especially with those Budai teams. But it's whatever you want. I think if you lower it, you're definitely going to get some more unique style teams, and you're just rooting for multiple dogs to get there at that point, which could happen on this card with a lot of low level fighters. I mean, Loma's a massive favorite, and again, she's fine. She's not like amazing or anything like that. Like, so it's just that's the card that we have here.
I wouldn't be shocked at all if she just straight up lost to Nunez. Like,
I'd be shocked. I'd be very shocked.
I mean, if it's just a straight kickboxing fight, then I think it would be somewhat closer. Yeah. I just don't think it's going to be that way. So, thoughts on? Oh, it's a long one here. Pat Sabatini defeating Brito by decision. Gurelli versus Ode under 2.5. Josh Emmett defeats Murphy by KO. You guys like that?
Yeah.
I like it. I will just
Sabatini definitely. I was thinking about it. I was like, well, can he really get there? And like, I think he can definitely win a decision. We've seen.
Yeah, he can get there and he can get score in decision. I agree.
Well,
Sabatini can definitely score in decision.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get to my boy Patty Sabs. Let's get to the next fight on the card. We've got Reese McKe 7,600 versus Daniel Franza 8,600, coming off the Contender Series win where he got dropped early, got taken down and controlled a little bit early, but he kind of weathered that storm, came back and found a finish in the second round. Honestly, like the striking defense, not good. Takedown defense, not good for Franza. But, he's got some power. I don't think his striking is like amazing either. I just think he moves forward. Even when he's tired, he'll keep pushing forward. So he'll fight for your money. I just think Reese McKe might be the better overall all-around fighter. I think he might have better grappling. Think he might honestly have better striking, maybe not more power than Franza, but I think his striking might be overall better. So I'm going Reese McKe, the dog. The lines kind of moved in his favor, I've noticed today. Reese McKe sitting plus 110 on DK Sportsbook right now. So the line is definitely moving towards the Reese McKe side. JBC, you think the line's moving the right way, or you like the Franza side?
Yeah, Reese McKe is probably my biggest bet on the card. I think he's better everywhere, as you discussed. Franza did not look that great in his Contender Series fight, as you also mentioned. And I do like this fight a little bit on both sides from a DFS perspective, just because Reese McKe is a bit chinny. And, Franza's inside the distance line is only 145 right now. But as far as from a betting perspective, I'm definitely betting on Reese McKe. Fantasy, I'm splitting it down the middle, probably playing them both in the mid-20s.
Dan, two for the McKe side. I assume you're going to make it 3 for 3, but who you like?
Yeah, I'm on McKe also. I mean, McKe is 0-4 in the UFC, but like, look at who he's fought. He's fought Chimaev, Alex Morono, Ange Lusa, and Chidi and Njokuani. Like, the only like true world beater on that list is Chimaev, but like that's pretty solid competition. And this Franza guy, like you said, just came in from the Contender Series. He's super one-dimensional. I actually don't think that McKe is as chinny as JBC does either. Like, he's only been knocked out he got ground and pounded by Chimaev, and that is
he got one other guy back in 2017.
So like, I don't really think this is a great I don't think this is a great matchup for Franza to get a finish or reach his ceiling, just because McKe is reasonably durable. But I do think like both of these guys just want to stand and strike. They're both super willing to just go out there and swing on the other guy and get hit as well. So I really think these guys are just going to brawl until somebody gets knocked unconscious.
I mean, Reese did show that, he tried to do something else with Chidi last fight, so he could try to get a takedown in this fight. It wouldn't shock me. If you watched his Contender Series fight, you saw how easy it was for his opponent to take him down. Or I saw his opponent take a terrible shot from way far out, him like stuff it, but then like still get taken down after he had like good initial takedown defense because it was from so far out, and then he still ends up on his back. Like Reese McKe could definitely watch that tape and be like, I can get this guy to the ground like easily. So I wouldn't be shocked if he tried to get the grappling going here a little bit. But either way, I think he's the better overall fighter. We all agree on that. And he's fought better guys. Like he's had better comp. Yeah, he's lost, but he's had to fight much more dangerous guys. And I kind of agree with Dan. I don't know how chinny, you get finished by Hamza. I don't give you a down tick for that, so I'm with you. I think he's in a good spot here to bounce back. So, all right, 3 for 3 on McKe. Seems like an easy fight. Let's go to another fight that I feel like everyone is kind of in agreement is very one-sided. We've got Dione Barbosa, 9,400 for Barbosa versus Diana Belbita. Belbita, 6,800. Dan, I'll just throw this one right back to you here. Do you think Barbosa just finishes this chick early? Do you think it's a decision fight? What do you see here?
I think she finishes her, man. Again, Barbosa is just like better everywhere. She's more dangerous. She's a minus 1,000 favorite. Belbita on the other side, she's a plus 1,000 to win inside the distance, which is absolutely pathetic. I guess down at 6,800, you could talk yourself into it. Like, she's dirt cheap. She'll throw a bunch of volume. It's women's MMA, but it's not something that I'm going to be like investing in all that much. Barbosa, on the other hand, is going to be one of my highest owned fighters on the slate. And it's just another situation where it has way less to do with what she actually does or brings to the table than just she's facing a terrible opponent. Like, I believe last time we saw Belbita, she was getting armbarred by Molly McCann. So
who is retired now.
Yeah, that's just that's horrible. That's absolute. Like, you get armbarred by Molly McCann, you should fucking retire. Like, right then and there.
Well, she's about to get retired.
Yeah, Belbita has no power. I think I agree with you. Barbosa's going to walk right through her, take her down, probably submit her. I like the submission prop here. JBC, where are you at with this fight?
Yeah, I think Barbosa just walks right through her. I'm playing Belbita 0. I'm playing Barbosa probably about 50%. She's the clear, obvious best DFS play on the card. Barbosa is. I'm kind of taking it as a given that she's going to score over 100. The only reason not to jam it is just because, on the off chance that 100, 105, she gets that and it's not optimal. I mean, it can happen. So I'm only playing her 50% only. So, yeah, this is one-sided for me.
Yeah, I'm in the 60s right now. So,
yeah, this is completely one-sided. I'm jamming her. So if she, if 100 or 105 is not enough, then you just move on to the next.
Right.
I feel like I'm going to have two. You could see her be the third highest scoring 9K chick or 9K fighter and still be optimal.
Yeah.
So, that's the way I kind of look at it. And if she's one, then I don't know how she's not optimal if she's one of the 9K, which could, in my opinion, could easily be the case. I think she could be the top 9K scoring fighter. So we'll see. That one's really cut and dry. I mean, not much else. Do you guys think that she finishes her? Like, do you guys like a bet in this? I like her via sub. Do you guys like a specific bet in this?
I just took the -175 inside the distance.
Inside the distance, yeah. Okay, I like that too.
Or whatever it is.
All right, let's get to. I think is got to be one of the more like fan favorite fights with who is fighting here. Torres Finny, the most famous Dana White Contender Series fighter probably ever to this point right now. I think he had to fight 3 times, get 3 wins to get into the UFC, and he is facing Robert Valentin here, a grappler pretty much. And I think it sets up well for Finny to kind of do what he wants to do, which is he's a big fucking dude. He's short. He's got a fucking short neck. He's not going to get choked out probably. And if he doesn't get choked out by this grappler, he's probably just going to wrestle fuck him for 3 rounds or maybe ground and pound late to a win. So I like Torres Finny here. I don't know if I like him by decision or like inside the distance. I could see like a 2nd or 3rd round ground and pound finish. But I will say Valentin, he does have really good grappling. So I could see him early have a little success, maybe countering the wrestling with some grappling. But I think late it's Finny all day. I just don't think he subs him. So JBC, where are you at with this fight?
Yeah, I think Valentin's going to try and get a finish and get finished himself. I think that he realizes what his path to victory is. His odds inside the distance are like hovering around +300, which is pretty fucking good for a 7,200 fighter. So I'm interested in Valentin for DFS, but I'm interested in Torres Finny a lot more. It's kind of like the Budai fight where I think we get a finish one way or another. And so I'm playing them both quite a bit. I think I have Finny at 40% and Valentin in the mid-20s down there at 7,200. But yeah, Finny inside the distance, -120, I think is the bet here.
I think the UFC kind of gave him a nice start-off fight, to be honest with you, because Valentin is okay on his back. So when you have a guy who's okay on their back, it's going to set up really well for Finny if he gets that takedown. Honestly, like, okay, and then I'll use my grappling, and if the grappling doesn't work, he's just stuck on his back. And so I think the UFC gave him a little nice start-off fight, Dan. I know you were not happy about him having to win 3 times to get here, but I think they gave him a nice start-off fight.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, they matched him up with a guy in Valentin who has pretty bad wrestling and grappling defense, and Finny is going to want to take it to the mat. Once he gets it there, like Valentin can be controlled, he can be hurt, he can be finished. So it's a great matchup for Finny. I don't really have much more to add. I'm going to be playing a ton of Finny, but like JBC mentioned, I'm also going to have a good amount of Valentin just because his best path to win is come out aggressive, try to get the early finish, which obviously would score great.
Yeah. What's the ownership you got on Torres Finny right now, Dan? Because I feel like he's got to be coming in pretty decently high.
I'm projecting Finny for like 41%. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he came in more than that. People love to play wrestlers. He's got some of the best inside the distance odds on the slate. The other 9K options are 2 women priced 9,400 and 9,500. I'd be very surprised if he wasn't pushing nearly like 50% by the time we lock. But I think it's warranted. He's by far the strongest option up there.
I just looked at Torres Finney's line for takedowns. It's 3.5. If this fight did go the full, he's probably gonna have more than 3.5.
Yeah, he can win.
I mean, the way that goes under is that it finishes in like a minute.
It finishes, yeah. That's how it goes under. Like
he's gonna smash either way. Worst case scenario for him is probably like
a loss if he loses.
Well, yeah, outside of a loss is probably like an early third round kind of finish. That's probably he's probably fucked then. But other than that, like he's got so many paths to just absolutely smash.
So many paths, and I think he's gonna be a tough dude to just submit. I think he's just one of those guys. He's gonna be a tough guy to catch and submit. But we'll see.
Look at his neck, dude. Finney's.
That's what I'm saying, though. He's got no neck. Like he's literally. He's like my height, and he's that big. Like it's crazy. Like, yeah, I don't think he's getting some, but we'll see. You never know. I guess in fighting, anything can happen. Next fight on the card: Osborne. Osborne sitting at plus 205, underdog here to Luis Gurelli. Gurelli sitting minus 250. Gurelli, I think he trains with Brandon Royval. I know he was in his corner for one of his recent fights. This dude's good. He fought a 3-time All-American wrestler, Nick Piccinini, in the Contender Series fight last time out. And he literally out-scrambled the All-American wrestler and made it impossible really for him to do much damage on the ground. Like even when he'd get taken down, he'd just find a way to not get hurt and then scramble back to his feet and stay safe. It was actually really impressive. He didn't go for many takedowns himself. He doesn't really go for it, but I wish he would, because I think his skills, like I think he'd be really good. Because he's shown that his grappling is very, very good. That was super impressive, though. He won that fight, kind of just outdogged him. Piccinini shot for 100 takedowns, and he just would stuff or out-scramble him, and then pretty much won a decision. He's a tough dude. I think O'Day's going to really struggle with someone like him. The only difference is the little bit of height and reach for sure for O'Day, but I think Gurulli's just a better overall fighter. I think he's a dog, and I think he wins this fight. I think he can even finish him, so I do like the under. I don't know if it's by some. He likes the ground and pound when he's down there, but I wouldn't be shocked if he found a submission just because O'Day has struggled with his defensive grappling. So that plus 700 staring right at me, JBC, staring right at me for me to click.
Yeah, I mean, I see this fight being a little more even than I think other people do. I do think O'Day has a puncher's chance due to the length, and he's shown knockout power before.
Mm-hmm.
I do like Gurelli a lot for DFS. I'm playing him, low mid 30s, like almost as much as Torres Finney, just because if he does get that finish, which the line's only plus 115 on, that's going to be optimal if he gets a finish at 8,900 and he scores, 105, 110. So, yeah, I mean, I bet on O'Day, but I don't really like him as much for DFS. But Gurelli for DFS, I think, is the move.
Yeah. I mean, O'Day's definitely fought some pretty good fighters, even though he's lost to a lot of them. He's definitely fought the better competition. Dan, what are you seeing?
Yeah, Gurelli, like yet another fighter where his style isn't usually something that I would target at this price, just because, like you said, you can tell he trains with Royval because they both kind of like move forward and they throw a lot of volume, but they don't put like a whole lot of power behind it. So he hasn't been much of a finisher. He's been more of just like a decision machine, which at 8,900 just strikes like isn't going to do it. Luckily, he's going up against O'Day Osborne, who's had like some pretty big durability issues and can be submitted. He's got pretty horrible defensive grappling. So Gurelli, great matchup for him to find a finish. But, I could also just see this go in the full 15, in which case he's absolutely going to bust at pretty high ownership, I think. I think he's coming in at like 30, which seems a little high to me. But Yeah, I guess with like Osborne's durability and defensive concerns, it makes some sense to me too. I'm gonna push him up a little bit more.
Yeah, the Gurelli's had one win by sub, and it was literally I think it was somewhat recently. I watched the fight, and he literally got like from a standing position, got in the head and arm choke position, and then dragged the guy down to the mat from there. So it wasn't even like a takedown to where he like got on his back, and it like I wish he went for more like traditional takedowns. I didn't see it as much when I watched him fight, even though he's always pressuring. So he's like constantly pressuring guys. Yeah, he just doesn't go. I wish he like shot for more takedowns. Maybe he will in this spot, because I think with O'Day's reach, it's going to be hard for him to get inside if he doesn't kind of, kick to close the distance and get a hold of him. If he can get a hold of him, I think he can get him to the ground. So hopefully that's the game plan, and we get like a sub from there, because I do think he'll find a sub pretty easily if he does get him down there. But we'll see. Might just be a striking match. So did you guys bet Gurley, or did you, JBC, did you bet O'Day?
I bet on O'Day, yes.
You bet on O'Day. All right. 2-1 there. Let's go to the next fight on the card. Here we've got Gerald Mirshard, 7,100 on DraftKings versus Brad Tavarez, 9,100 for Tavarez. Kind of been like a decision guy, unless he's getting knocked out himself, Tavarez, and he's 9,100 facing Mirshard, who, is just mainly a grappler, but he does have some power. He's looking to find finishes on the mat with the submissions. Brad Tavarez does have good takedown defense. It might be tough for him to get him down, but if he can find his way down, I do think he could have some success. I just don't know how easy it's going to be against Tavarez. JBC, where are you at with this fight?
Tavarez is really expensive, and the inside the distance number is pretty shitty for being up there. But as we've talked about a million times, it's about who you're facing. And Mirshard is very willing to fight off his back. And if he's on his back and Tavarez is fucking smashing his face, he could end up scoring really high. So I think that Tavarez has some upside. Like, I'm going to play him 20%, and I feel like that's going to be well over the market. Mirshard, obviously, an elite DFS play down at 7,100 because he could finish anybody. And, with the submission ability, if he gets a finish in any form at 7,100, then he's probably going to be optimal, and only plus 145 on the money line. So I bet on Mirshard. I like Mirshard more in DFS, but he can be scaled against if you get him down and he doesn't get his sub. So I like Tavarez for DFS more than most people, I would imagine.
Yeah, it kind of has the feel that this fight finishes one way or another. So I kind of agree with you. Tavarez is not a guy I like to roster, but makes some sense here. Dan, do you agree that Tavarez is a decent play at the ownership?
Yeah, I mean, I hate it, but I guess it's fine. Mostly just because Mirshard, he can be hurt and finish. So like JBC mentioned, it's more about the matchup than anything. I have him coming in at like 12%. So 20, you'll definitely be way over on that. I've just kind of gotten in the habit of like, when there's somebody up in the top end, like Sean O'Bannon, for instance, or now Brad Tavarez, like if they're going to come in around 10% or single digit ownership, like it's not that hard to just get up to 20. And, if they win, if they smash, like you're in an amazing spot for the rest of the night.
Yeah, well, GM3, honestly, I'm probably going to bet him just because, like, by sub. I do think that he's got a good chance, but from a DFS perspective, I like the idea of getting a piece of both of these fighters. I do think it's a fight that you should probably have a little bit of both. And so this is definitely one of those fights for me. What's GM3's ownership, Dan?
He's going to be like 26 is where I have him at.
26.
Wouldn't be surprised for him to be a little higher than that, just because
people like to play him.
Yeah, he's always around the 7Ks. He's always live to get.
Well, he's a known dog, right?
Yeah.
Like he's
won so many fights when he's been in this exact situation where he's an underdog and low priced.
I feel like he's like constantly an underdog. You know what I mean? Like
it's because he's a one trick. He's like if he doesn't get the sub, he's fucked. Like it's like Craig.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been
exactly.
the dog. Dude, he's been the dog in like every fight since 2021, except up against Brian Barberena.
Bam, bam.
He's been a dog in basically every fight he's ever been in, save for like 4 of them. That's crazy. Yeah.
I've never seen I've never played the UFC video game, but I'm assuming on the ground, if you get him down, he's probably really fucking good. So
UFC 3 is fun until you get taken down, and then I just get submitted like immediately. I don't understand how to do submission defense in the fucking UFC video game. It sucks. But if it's like striker versus striker, it's fun as shit.
Boxing video games are better. Boxing video games are better.
Fight Night? Oh, man. Fight Night
was great.
Fucking love Fight Night.
Fight Night. Yeah. Do they still have that game? Is that still?
I think they're bringing it back. I think it's been gone for a while.
Yeah, I haven't played it in over a decade.
Yeah, I haven't played video games in like 15 years. So
I remember Adrian and I got it from like a secondhand store, and we started playing it together, and it was like kind of fun to go against each other. But then like she was out of work, and I spent all day just like getting way better at it. She came home, and I just started absolutely crushing her. And she just
Yo, Ready to Rumble was good. Shit.
Afro Thunder.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That game was awesome. Dude, N64 had some bangers. That's like one of the best systems ever.
I think it was called Super Punch Out. Yeah, Super Punch Out on Super Nintendo.
Yeah, Mike Tyson.
That was a sick game.
Yeah, they had some really good ones.
I gotta dust off the Super Nintendo.
Do you still have yours?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Sick. I got my Dreamcast.
I have my Dreamcast.
No.
You got your Dreamcast?
Yeah. I had a Dreamcast. Fuck.
Yeah.
Got my N64 though.
Yeah, I got those are the systems I got. Dreamcast, N64. So all right, let's go to the next fight here. I think it was the one weight miss on the card was the Romeus Chang Ho Lee fight here. Romeus 7,800 and Lee 8,400. And I think the lines kind of went, oh no, it's kind of right around where it was. I guess Chang Ho Lee sitting minus 148. Dan, what are you seeing here with this fight? And what do you think with the weight miss?
Quick. Somebody in the chat is saying that they think this fight might be up in the air.
Is that because DK has the questionable tag?
Maybe.
Yeah, I haven't heard of
it. I'm seriously asking.
I can't find it on Twitter.
Know. Yeah, I saw that comment earlier and I looked and I didn't see anything about it. They might just have a Q tag in the app. I don't know. It seems like maybe like a purposeful weight miss by Romeus, just because I think Lee has definitely got the advantage in the grappling, but the one thing Romeus does have is like size and strength over Lee. So he might just be trying to maximize that. Try to nullify Chang Ho Lee's grappling advantage a little bit.
Well, Romeus has good grappling. His problem, though, is that he's aggressive with the grappling. So he's going for shit. He's going for arm bars. And then when he doesn't get him, he ends up on his fucking back. And Chang Ho Lee is good enough to where if he's not getting those submissions, then he might be fucked sitting on his back with Chang Ho Lee. So I think it's a tough matchup for Romeus, who, yeah, maybe he's got like the power, but I honestly don't like his striking. And I think Chang Ho Lee is like a little bit better. He might not be as dangerous on the ground, but I think he's just a little better in all the positions everywhere than Romeus. So I'm picking Lee. I think Lee wins. I think this is a decision fight, but Lee's solid. Like Lee can score well too in a decision, I think. JBC, what do you see?
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I bet Romeus big. I think Romeus finishes. I think he gets him down, and I think it ends there. I think I agree with you. I think the weight miss was intentional, and I think the size is just going to be too much, and the line is just cratering towards Romeus. despite what happened at the weigh-ins. I'm with Romeus here.
Romeus is much more physical. Like even on Chang Ho Lee is a road to UFC guy, I'm pretty sure. Even in those road to UFC fights, which the level of competition is not particularly high, he was getting bullied and kind of tossed around. Like you can see that Chang Ho Lee lacks physicality. So if he can't beat you from a technical standpoint and like out technical you, then he's pretty much fucked. And I also think Romeus is like better.
Yeah, but that last fight he had wasn't really technical. It was a legit banger, and he won the decision.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying. He's definitely going to have the disadvantage when it comes to the size and the strength. But I'm just saying, like, I think he could win, a non-technical fight. He literally just won one against Long, and that was a banger, if I remember correctly. So
I think Romeus is probably more physical than Long is.
He might be.
Like I think Lee's like disadvantage in the physicality is going to be much more pronounced in this matchup than it was in that matchup versus Long, for sure.
Yeah. I guess. I just don't think Romeus is that good on the feet.
I don't think either of them are very good, like for what it's worth.
They might not be. So
You think everyone's fucked, Dan.
What?
Dan hates everyone on these low-level cards. He's like, everyone on these low-level cards.
Dan's like, yeah, they suck. Then we watch it all day. We watch it all day.
Yeah, exactly. Then we watch it all day. All right. So both you guys bet on Romeus. What are you doing for DFS though? Well, because this is a closely priced fight. Are you guys heavy on this fight for DFS? JBC, you're shaking your head.
Yeah. Well, on the Romeus side, Lee, I have minimal. Lee, I have slightly more than the two chicks in the first fight, Alan Carr and Vanessa. I've got him like 15%. Romeus, I'm pushing 30.
Yeah, Romeus.
Dan?
Like Romeus, I'm at like 30. Lee, I've got low 20s right now.
Yes, the answer to this question is yes.
Torrential downpours. Yeah, it's here too. I feel like it's everywhere. So,
did they cancel the Red Sox game?
It was bad.
Yeah, I thought they were going to cancel it. I don't know.
I'm 45 minutes from the stadium, and if it's anything like this, the rain's not supposed to stop anytime soon. So
yeah.
Sylvester,
unless they wait it out, if they waited out, they like it would be late though. I don't think they're gonna. I don't personally think they're gonna wait until 8 or 9, but maybe they could.
And the field might be fucked.
The field could be fucked. So
I got to towards the end of building the early MLB slate and realized that I had only reserved one lineup, and then when I went to go reserve the other ones, it was full. After I'd spent like an hour building fucking baseball.
I'll say this: the baseball, the sizes of the tournaments and stuff, I feel like they've been short on them to start the year because I feel like they've been filling up pretty good.
They've been doing 100K a lot more than they have been for baseball. So, and people like it. And I think that people were looking for something because basketball dipped in popularity due to, the whole everybody resting all the time deal and having to constantly switch your lineups. And people were craving a sport every day where the lineups don't change. And it's like baseball, the lineups don't really change.
Talking the early slates, like the early slate, because we've had a lot of those slates. They can make those early slates. Even people love those early slates.
I agree because people are at work and they're bored.
They're bored, exactly.
FanDuel needs to step it up, dude. Like the last few days, their main like flagship GPP has been like a $9 150 max with 10K to first. Like
they've been running high stakes for 100K a lot.
I saw the monster tonight. Looks pretty decent.
They don't even care about any of those other besides the main slate, Dan. They don't even care about like.
Well, no, I'm talking about main slate. Like their main slates have been pretty terrible so far.
Well, that's why we're #DK partner. So,
yeah,
right. All right. 2 more fights left on the card here. Hit the like button on the video if you enjoyed it. 3-man booth. We're gonna get to our best bets. Maybe a little pick 6 action on DraftKings. So. We'll get there after we get these 2 fights done. Joe Anderson, Brito, 8,700 for Brito versus Pat Sabatini, 7,500. I think he's plus 170. I just want to make that plus 164. Okay, so it's moving a little in Patty Sab's favor here. I love Patty Sab's last time out. I got a case to be made for him here, but I'll let my guys go first, see which side they are on. Dan, which side are you on here for this fight?
Let me just look at this real quick. Yeah, I'm on the Sabatini side, man. Brito's like, he's dangerous on the feet and on the mat, but he gets tired, man. And like Sabatini has only ever been submitted one time, so that just immediately narrows Brito's path to a finish, which he's going to need a finish to be optimal because he really doesn't produce enough offense to be optimal in decision. So really Brito at 8,700, he's a really expensive, high-owned sort of knockout or bust option. And he'll have a pretty pronounced advantage on the feet. So he's got a good chance of landing the knockout that he needs. But, you know, this line has kind of cratered towards Sabatini. And Sabatini is dangerous on the mat himself. So he's obviously super live to get a submission at his price. It could even be a later round submission, which I think is more likely, right? It's probably another scenario where it's like one guy earlier, another guy late. It's probably Brito early and Sabatini late.
Yeah. JBC, Dan likes Sabatini. Which side are you on here?
Betting wise, Sabatini for sure. I think he has more paths to victory, but a lot of those paths to victory are with him losing the first round, and he wouldn't score very well if that happens. He obviously could get there if he dominates the whole fight on the ground, but I do think Brito is going to come out swinging. So I think that from a DFS perspective, Brito is a much better play. I'm playing Brito in the high 30s. Minus 125 to finish inside the distance at 8,700 is very, very, very good. But as far as a bet wise, Sabatini should be even lower than 170 to me.
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. I'm surprised you're both on Pat Sabatini. I love Pat Sabatini in his last fight against Jonathan Pierce, and he dominated Jonathan Pierce, who has amazing grappling. And Jonathan Pierce also fought Joe Anderson Brito. What happened in that fight? Well, he controlled him against the fence for a lot of that fight. He controlled him for 3 or 4 minutes on the ground in the second round before he got subbed. And Pat Sabatini has got better control. He's got better submission game. He's better at all those things than Jonathan Pierce. So if Jonathan Pierce can do that to Joe Anderson Brito and he doesn't luck out with that submission, he's screwed in that fight. I think he's going to be screwed in this fight if he doesn't catch Pat Sabs coming in for a takedown. That's the way he wins this fight. It's not with the submission. It's with one shot where he catches dude clean coming in for a takedown. And Joe Anderson Brito is one of those fighters. He throws everything into his shots. So they're all dangerous. Sabatini's going to know that. I think this fight's optimal. It's just a matter of, does Joe Anderson Brito catch him early? If not, I think Patty Sabs controls him because Joe Anderson Brito, I've seen him get taken down by less grapplers than Pat Sabatini. And Pat Sabatini's got the best control of anybody in this division. So like once they get down, the control is awesome. So I think he stays down. So I'm on the Pat Sabatini side from a bet standpoint, and I'm way heavier in DFS just because at 7,500, I don't even, if it's 3 rounds and a decision, I think he scores well because I think he gets a few takedowns and I think he gets a shitload of control time. So I'm on the Patty Sab side, but I do think this is a fight. If you're 150 in, you should have both sides of it because Joe Anderson Brito can catch him early. And if he does, he's going to put up a big score at that price tag. So yeah, I'm definitely on the Sabatini side. All 3 of us on the Patty Sab side for Dan. This must kill you being on the Patty Sab side.
Well, why? Isn't he a Philly guy?
Because I thought you didn't like him. I thought you didn't like him.
I have no beef with Sabatini.
Okay.
Maybe there's plenty of fighters I don't fucking like, but Sabatini's fine.
Did we not argue? I must be remembering shit backwards then. I thought we argued about him and Jonathan Pierce fight, but
probably.
maybe I was wrong.
Probably, yeah. We both did. We had Pierce.
I was very heavy on the Pierce side. I remember that.
Okay, so now I was right. We definitely argued with
You
that.
know what?
Okay.
Though? Now I hate Jonathan Pierce.
There we go. Quitter, Jonathan Pierce. You hate him
what?
now.
I think that fight, he just like instantly gave up his back. He shot like one of the worst takedowns you'll ever fucking see, got his back taken and just got choked out instantly and completely.
By the way, if you're Brito, he better not shoot for a takedown. That's like the dumbest thing. Not against Pat Sabatini. Like, just try and knock the dude out. He's shown that.
He will. That's what he's going to do. He's going to swing.
He's going to swing. Yeah. The problem is if he doesn't get it, Sabatini's just going to duck under one of those big punches. He's going to take him right down. Like,
I think the most likely scenario here is big round from Brito off the rip, and then Sabatini controls the rest of the fight, 29-28, he scores 80. So I think
we're going to see it earlier. Like, if Brito gets the knockout, I think it's going to be within 2.5 minutes.
Yeah. Which is why I like
within 2.5 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, no, I get it. All right. A good fight for DFS. I definitely recommend getting exposure to those fighters. Let's go to the main event on the card here. Lerone Murphy, 9,300 versus Josh Emmett, 6,900. Josh Emmett, 40 and transformed. Can I say transformed? I don't know if you guys saw him. He was looking pretty good for a 40-year-old Josh Emmett. So, Dan, I know you hate on the old guys. Not a big fan of the old guys here. 6,900 though for Josh Emmett against Lerone Murphy. Can I tempt you on a 40-year-old Josh Emmett?
Dude, fuck yeah, you can. 6,900, 23% owned. Like, I usually am fading the older guys, but not Josh Emmett, man. This dude he cracks. He hits so motherfucking hard. He can knock anybody out. That just like I'm playing him. I'm playing 100% of this fight, and I'll probably have like mid-30s to 40% Josh Emmett. Like, I'm gonna play it.
Josh Emmett said, "Bet the house on him." That's what he said in his interview. He asked what the line was. He said, "Bet the house on me." Are you betting the house?
I'm not betting the house, but I will definitely be betting on Josh Emmett to win by knockout, because that's same when he went up against Bryce Mitchell. I was like, this is Josh Emmett round 1 knockout written all over it. Lerone Murphy is obviously much better on the feet than Bryce Mitchell is, and I'll be playing Murphy in any lineup that doesn't have Emmett, but 20-something% for someone with the finishing upside of Josh Emmett is stupid. So I'm going to be way over on that.
JBC, you betting the house?
Yeah, I like Josh Emmett. Price is way too high. 260 on the money line, 450 on the inside the distance. For a guy with that much knockout power, I think that it's a case of Lerone Murphy. He's getting that undefeated bump on his money line, and so I mean, from a DFS perspective, obviously, I'm like Dan. I'm locking the fight. Lerone Murphy is certainly an elite DFS play, but I like Emmett too. I'm playing it about what he said. I'm playing about 2/3 Lerone Murphy and about 1/3 Emmett, and just letting it rip.
Yeah, I'm on the Emmett side as well. When I started breaking down the fight, I was like, I'm probably going to be on the Murphy side. And then I started breaking it down, and not only the line is just, it feels too wide, but when you look at the fighters, yeah, I think Murphy's got a speed advantage. I think if it's just a point fight, kind of like what he did with Dan Ige for the second round and the third round, he did use some wrestling in that round as well, but where it was just kind of like, it wasn't big combos. He started respecting Dan Ige after he got dropped in round 1. And you noticed it was like one punch. They were even talking about, it was like one punch and move. I think he's going to come into the Josh Emmett fight respecting Josh Emmett immediately, because he knows the power. He's seen it. So I think he's going to try and use the footwork, maybe some grappling. I don't know, but I think he's going to try and use the footwork, the speed, in and out. But Josh Emmett does a really good job, in my opinion, of kind of forcing it on someone like Lerone Murphy. And the Ilya fight was crazy to me. He was hurt. He didn't quit. Some of the shots Ilya took too, he just kind of ate. I don't think Lerone Murphy can eat those shots. And those were shots where Josh was like hurt, probably 70% out, like not even there upstairs. And Ilya was like, he was landing them late in the round, and Ilya was just eating them and moving forward. And I'm like, I was watching that going, that's not normal. Like, I don't think the Lerone Murphy could do that. I've seen him get hurt in his last 2 fights. So I think if Lerone Murphy gets into a firefight with Josh Emmett, he's going to end up losing that fight, which I feel like Josh Emmett finds a way to get into those type of fights in a 5-round fight. He'll like find a way to do it. If Lerone Murphy's having success, he'll get overconfident, and Josh Emmett carries power throughout all 5 rounds. So I think he's got a really good chance to find the chin and drop Lerone Murphy here. If it's a 5-round fight and it goes to decision, he probably does lose the decision. But I think he's got a chance to finish Lerone Murphy.
Yeah, I mean, Murphy's going to be in danger as long as the fight goes on. Like, Josh Emmett is not going to go away at any point for as long as the fight is going. Like, he's going to be dangerous. And Murphy, his best path to victory is probably attacking Emmett's wrestling defense. So while Murphy's probably not going to finish this fight, he can score really, really well in a 5-round decision because it's likely coming with a bunch of takedowns and control time. The thing that holds Murphy back the most is he doesn't throw a ton of striking volume really on the feet or on the ground. So that's held him back from really posting like huge slate breaking scores, but he definitely has a good all around style that if he can just get those strikes up a little bit, he can score really well in a decision.
Yeah, like, well, he did in the decision with Barbosa, but what happened in that fight? That was like a war. You know what I mean? This is my point. Like, if he finds his way into a war with Josh Emmett, yeah, it's like outdog the dog. Well, you might be in trouble with Josh Emmett. Even if Josh Emmett's ears like hanging down here, he's still coming at you. So yeah, that's my problem with Barbosa. Murphy needs like he wants like a clean fight. I don't think he's going to get a clean fight with Josh Emmett.
Agreed.
All right. All 3 of us on the betting side of Emmett. From a DFS side, you guys are locking the fight. I'm pretty much locking the fight too, because I think that, someone's probably scoring really well. I do have more Emmett though than Murphy here. Let's go to best bets here. Let's give 1 bet for the people. The rest, you'll have to sign up. Use code RPS15. Get 15% off your first month or week over at runpuresports.com for all the bets, picks, DFS plays, core plays, full playbook write-ups for everything MMA and all other sports too. But Dan, you got a favorite bet for the people?
Yeah, man, let's get in the zone. I want Josh Emmett round 1 plus 1,000.
Ooh, you went right in there. Wow,
fun, man.
that's fun. I was gonna go with the dog and be like, yeah, I feel good, and then Dan's like, yeah, here's a plus 1,000 for you guys. Yeah. I'm going Patty Sabs plus 164. Dan owned me. I'll let him have it. He owned me with the plus 1,000, but Patty Sabs money line, give it to me, baby. JBC, you got a favorite bet?
I'm going with Loma Lukbunmi inside the distance plus 190.
Nice. All right, there we go. Loma inside the distance plus 190 here. Do you guys want to roll up a pick 6 real quick?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, I'm going to pull it up here real quick. Give me a second, and then we'll get this going. DraftKings pick 6. Oh, reminder too for anyone playing DraftKings fantasy, especially for golf. Next week is the Millie Maker, the Masters tournament, and DraftKings doing a little promo right now. It's pretty simple too. If you put in $10, then you'll get $10. All you got to do is deposit $10 into your DraftKings account, and they will hit you with a $10 Millie Maker ticket over on DraftKings for the big $10 Millie next week Masters. So check out that deposit. Make sure you opt in the promo section and deposit 10. You'll get a $10 ticket over on DraftKings. Check them out. No other code or anything like that. Just go deposit. And you get that $10.
JBC, right. I don't know what you did to Spencer, but he wants me to dust you up with the brass knuckles.
I do. He keeps talking about it.
I'm gonna be seeing JBC in Miami next week, so I don't know if I can bring brass knuckles with me, but I'll be stopping off somewhere to pick some up, and we'll make it happen.
All right, so let me see if I can make this big. How's that look, guys? A little bigger or
full screen?
Can you guys see?
I got it pulled up too. I'm good.
Okay.
I don't pick 6 in my area. They won't even let me look at it, I don't think.
Well, Dan, is that good or?
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, you can see that. All right, cool. All right, so pull that up here. All right, so what do you guys want to do? Do you want to go? We got significant strikes. We got fight time, takedowns, fantasy points, control time. We got all pick from here. So where do we want to go? JBC, you got one to get us rolling?
Yeah, I'm going with Gerald Mirshard under 36.5 significant strikes.
Okay.
I either think he gets a sub or, I don't think he's going to get that many punches off right there on the left. Yeah.
Under. Okay. Gerald Mirshard under. Dan, I'll give you another second here just because I know you don't have it pulled up.
Actually, I was able to pull it up, so I'm
oh, you were? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have one you like?
Yeah, let me get Lee under 2.5 takedowns.
Okay. Lee under 2.5 takedowns. I like that. And I will go with, oh man, some of these lines here. Oh man. Which one do I want? I'm going to go with Franza under 81.5 fantasy points. There. That's 3. Do we want to make this bigger or is 3 enough?
Oh, let's do full 6.
Go big, go home. All right, I like it. JBC, you got another one?
I am going to go with Belbita under 38.5 significant strikes.
I like that. That's a good one. Belbita. I wish they had finishes.
They do sometimes, but only it would only like today. It would just be Torres Finny, like yes or no. He's the only one close enough on the line.
Yeah.
Belbita,
you said Belbita under, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Dan, do you have another one?
Yeah, I think Brito over half a takedown is pretty interesting as well. I can see him getting 1. Sabatini is like pretty willing to go to the ground. Let me just see what they have that lined at. Actually, I don't know about that. What do you think, man? Over half a takedown for Brito?
Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
I don't think he's gonna shoot. I think he's gonna swing.
Yeah, I mean his takedown prop is actually juiced pretty heavily to the under.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's
like something else.
It's minus 175.
I would say go with something else personally, but
Budai's fantasy point prop is 91.5, which seems
crazy.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
You
know what? I'm going less. I'm going less.
Less on Budai fantasy point.
That's crazy. I can't do that. That's crazy. All right, I'm going less on Budai. That's too much. Dan, you have one?
Yeah, I had one. I mean, Belbita 29.5 fantasy points. I think the under.
We can't do 2 of the Belbita.
Okay. I don't really like any of these fantasy point ones. Let's see. Can only do more.
We can go to control time. We can go to. You like Romeus? Do you like him to have 3.5 minutes of control time? Or no?
No, not really. Let me see. Let me diving into these props.
Trying to see
I feel like
what about Nunez under 50.5 significant strikes?
There you go.
Let's do it. All right. Nunez. Where is she? Under. All right. So here are the picks. We've got Mirshard under 36.5 significant strikes. Chango Lee under 2.5 takedowns. Franza under 81.5 fantasy points. Belbita under 38.5. Yeah, but betting all unders. Budai under 91.5 and Nunez under significant strikes 50.5. Bang. All right. Look at that. 100 to win 15.
Not bad.
And we're in.
Minimum 15.
Minimum of 15. That's right. Win up to 15x or more on your pick. Screenshot that. Boom. DraftKings pick 6. Check it out. Bang. And we're there. All right, boys. That's it. All the fights broken down. Pick 6. Bets winners. If you want more, use that code RPS15. Get you 15% off. Come check us out. Get everything you need from baseball, MLB, MMA, of course. We got NASCAR, obviously, big days and the weekends here. So every sport, you name it, we got you covered. Bets, DFS. Come check us out, runpuresports.com. Check out DraftKings. For JBC, Dan, and myself, good luck in your MMA contest tonight, and we'll see you guys back next week for the big card. Until then, we're out of here. Peace.